Changing Shelby's oil today. Got the good stuff, got the K&N filter, and Royal Purple. This stuff is my favorite. These ramps are sketchy. I gotta get rid of these things. They were too tall for the car, so I had to get 2x4s. Of course, it didn't work. Bolt was much shorter than I thought it'd be. Of course I made a mess, why wouldn't I? What a garbage design. There's literally no way to clean it, get this stuff out. It's hard to see, but there's no room. So we're gonna have to like go around here from the back, which means no pre-fill in the oil filter, which sucks because I hate doing that. Or hate not being able to do that, I should say. And if you're curious, yes, it actually is purple. Should be good because it takes a weird amount, 4.2 quarts, not a full 5, but more than 4. Pop that back on. And yep, perfect. All right, oil change is done. So I just sat here and talked for roughly 10 minutes and the audio came through like crap. This is why I hate having separate equipment to do stuff. I'm gonna play a clip right here of the same video that I just recorded with this mic and my whole setup here and what it sounded like. I have no idea why or how that happened. All the lights are correct. I don't know. So let's sum up what I just said. Started off the day, changed Shelby's oil, like deep cleaned her car for her. And what I was talking about was today has been the most productive day I've had in a long time. Don't know why. I just woke up and I was like, all right, we're going to get her oil changed. And then after the oil change, I'm like, you know what? She's still asleep. She's been wanting her to vacuum her car out. I'm going to go do that. And then I was like, well, might as well wash it too. So it turned out to be like a whole thing. But I was stoked because my personal favorite oil to use is Royal Purple. I rarely use it because it's so expensive. Like I used it in the Slingshot because that thing was like brand new and it was my pride and joy. And it quieted the rear end down like tremendously when I did it, which was amazing. So like I've sworn by it since. And then K&N oil filters, because they have great reviews. I can't be like, oh, I've had great luck with these. Like, can't really tell you a difference, but I've watched videos online. People love them. And the teardowns and stuff, they seem to be very, very nicely made. And they have a shape on the bottom of them to where you can use a socket to get them off. So you don't need like an oil filter wrench if you got like a weird, some of the vehicles I've had have a really weird area up there that's hard to get like a wrench or a grabber grippy thingy on there to get it off if, it's too tight. Last time we got it done, it was kind of cold outside. I was working a lot more. So, we just took it to a shop. It was like $110 or something like that for literally a synthetic oil change, which was like a no-name oil and a no-name premium synthetic filter. And I was like, Jesus, it's highway robbery anymore. It was a half-hour job with basic tools. But because of all the stuff I've been doing in the garage, which I actually have a video for that too, I just haven't posted it yet because I kind of want to get it done before I post it. But I don't know if that's going to happen because it's going to take me a while because I'm not working on it a lot. But I've gotten like shelves put in the garage now, and I've like organized my tools. I've built up like that Ryobi tool collection. I've got the batteries, all the nice tools and stuff like that. And before you hate like, oh, you should get DeWalt or Milwaukee or whatever, if you're buying them, I'll use them. But for me, Ryobi is a phenomenal deal. Getting them from like the Direct Tools Outlet website, and like all the free stuff I can get from like Home Depot when they do like, you know, buy this tool and you get to pick something for free or whatever. So I've got a nice collection built up, and it's been phenomenal. Like for what I do, it's more than enough. But that definitely helped with her oil change, because her car's got one of those like annoying things on the bottom where it's like a splash shield, and it's got like 10 or 15 bolts or screws or whatever in it. But yeah, anyway, so I changed her oil, vacuumed her car out, shampooed her mats, wiped, you know, the inside out, wiped the interior, washed the living hell out of it. It was filthy. And then like I was just like, I had that like, yeah, let's go kind of like motivated attitude. And if you guys remember, it's not too many videos back, but it was in like, I would guess like October-ish, I cut down that tree in our backyard. That tree, like, it bloomed really pretty, like in like late spring. It would like be like a pinkish kind of like blossom or bloom, whatever. I don't know what the heck you call it when a tree, you know, starts getting its leaves on it or whatever. But this tree had like weird leaves, like they were really small, but it would bloom this like really vibrant, intense, like pinkish color. And then like 2 weeks after that, it would just be like brownish green leaves or whatever. So like nothing special after that. But it was such a dense tree. Like first off, it has like all these weird vines growing out of it. So I think it had some sort of disease. And I would have to trim it like literally every couple months, and it would always like grow down. So I'd have to like, I was always constantly trimming branches just so I could walk back there with the lawnmower. And it overhung over the garage, which had caused all kinds of issues with the gutters. Squirrels would jump from the tree to the garage to the tree, you know, so there was like always critters. So I kind of have a suspicion that there's probably some nests in like up in the upper portion of our garage. But also, most importantly, that tree caused shade back there like 24/7. No sun ever hit the ground in that whole area between our fence and the garage. So the ground from rain and stuff was always soft and just like kind of muddy because it never got sunlight. So that caused like structural issues. Like the foundation is really wonky on that side of the garage. Like the wall is actually partially crooked. It hasn't gotten worse since we've lived here. It was like that when we bought it. But I'm over it. The tree was ugly most of the year anyways. So I cut it down and I chopped it up, and I was like, all right, I'll let it sit out here for a couple weeks and then I'll drag it over and burn it in our fire pit. Well, I tried that, and that wood was nowhere near dry yet. I'm not much of a tree cutter, so I don't know if that's average time or whatever, but also it was cool outside, so I know it wasn't getting, you know, cooked in the sun and dried out. So finally, fast forward to now, started dragging it over there, got a fire going today, and I probably walked back and forth 100 times just grabbing leaves. Like, my hands are torn up, my legs are all cut up, but I got it all burned today. I'm so happy. Now, for the first time since we've lived here, that ground over there is just clear and open. So there's still a stump that I gotta tear up. I mean, aside from that, though, like, it's finally bare ground over there. So now, with it being sunny, it's gonna be able to, like, dry up. And then I'm gonna get, like, a rototiller or whatever, till the ground, plant, like, grass seed, and put a little fence there so the dogs can't get to it while it's growing. And then hopefully just have like more yard. But so I did that. I cleaned a lot of the garage out. I put my speaker back in my car. I kind of tuned my amp a little bit more. I think I took that out like sometime around the same time as when I chopped that tree down. So like I've been without bass for many months. I've got a big Scar subwoofer. I mean, the thing weighs like 80 pounds on its own. I had a big box built for it a while ago. And I've had that in my Explorer, but I took it out a long time ago, never put it back in, so it's been taking up space in the garage. But now I finally got it back in there, so I was playing with that, and then came up here to make this video. So we always talk about moving to Florida. Well, I do. Well, in my videos, I do, but we always talk about it a lot because we literally just love Florida. And everyone always gives us crap like, oh, you know, moving to Florida, you're going to hate it, you're going to miss it here, blah, 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 blah. Shelby saw this like article someone shared on Facebook, and it was like, 13 things you'll miss most when you leave Michigan. And I was like, oh my God, I got to hear these. So before she even read them, like we started laughing. We're like, we probably won't agree with any of them, that we'll miss any of them. And she was reading them, and yep, none of them. But I was like, that'd be funny to make a video and talk about it. So back to the footage that I already recorded. Boom. Also, really quick, you probably can't see it in the video, but up here, I have this little, like, water fountain thingy, waterfall, battery powered. It's got cool lights. Where does the water go in those? Because I filled that thing up, I put batteries in it. I love it. I love those little waterfall things. I want to build like a big one in here somewhere. Don't know where or how. But after like a week, the water is gone. They are bone dry. Every single one of those I've ever owned are like that. I'm like, where does the water go? But anyways, let's get to this article. So it says, leaving Michigan, 13 things you miss most when you're gone. It says, growing up in Michigan, I've always loved the wonderful things about our state. The people, the food, the lakes, the beautiful scenery, the ability to show strangers where I live in the palm of my hand. I do that. I go like this. I'll be like, you know, we live like right here. So, I mean, that is something cool, I guess, but that's literally it. So it says, number 1, Michigan craft brews. Neither of us drink beer. The only beer I've ever drank and got drunk off of is Bud Light. Leave the stupid Bud Light comments out of here. I don't give a damn about it. Beer is disgusting to me. Craft brews and IBAs or whatever the hell they're called are even more disgusting because they're the same exact flavor, but worse. So this says, finding Michigan craft beers outside of our state is nearly impossible. So, don't care. Michigan-made food. Coney dogs, Superman ice cream, Mackinac Island fudge, punchkis, pasties. The list could go on forever. Superman ice cream, I didn't know that was a Michigan thing until probably 2 or 3 years ago. The ice cream looks like rainbow. I'll put a picture of it right here. It's good, but I've probably had it 3 or 4 times in my entire life. Coney dogs, you're telling me we can't go to a restaurant and get a hot dog that's got chili and cheese and onions on it anywhere else? I don't really think that's like a Michigan thing. Mackinac Island fudge, I hate fudge. It's way too rich. Also never had Mackinac Island fudge. Punchkis, again, I kind of feel like that's not a Michigan thing. Like, I feel like anywhere on Fat Tuesday or whatever, you can probably find them. Because right now, I couldn't tell you where I could go get one. So, pasties, haven't had those since I was a little kid. All it is, it's like a kind of like a pot pie, but it's just got like meat in it. They're kind of boring. Not going to miss none of that. Number 3, small town charm. No matter where you find yourself in the mitten, small town charm exists. I am convinced that small town charm is only a thing to people who don't live in small towns. Monroe is a small town. Like, granted, there are larger areas that are still considered Monroe, but there's like downtown Monroe, which is, you know, a small town. It's way overhyped. Seriously. There's nothing charming about it. There's nothing here. Small town charm means you gotta leave town every time you want to do something. Number 4, Detroit Tigers. I'm not a sports guy. Shelby's been to a Tigers game, I think, once or twice. It would probably be fun to attend, but I'm not going to attend it and be eager at watching the Tigers. You know, it's just going to be the experience itself. Going to the arena, being around people, you know, the loud stuff going on. Number 5, picturesque views. Greenery for miles. See, anybody from Michigan and any state that experiences actual winters where it gets cold and freezing knows that the greenery disappears for like 7 months out of the year. Out of 12 months, we have about 5 months of greenery. See, here in Michigan, where we live at least, usually fall, like end of October, early November, everything starts dying. And it's not actually dying, it's like going into hibernation or whatever the heck you call it. Flowers all die, your grass turns brown, and everything just stays wet and muddy and soppy for the next literally 6 or 7 months. More than half of the year, everything is dead. And when I say dead, I mean like just brown and just sloppy. It's depressing. It's literally, I hate it. That's one of my biggest gripes about winter, is how everything just gets dormant, I think is the term they call it. But it's literally depressing. The color's gone. I love greenery. I love bright flowers. I love green trees. Like, that stuff makes me happy. It says, greenery for miles, sand dunes riddled along the coast. Never been to the sand dunes. Sounds like they'd be fun, but something I'll probably go the rest of my life and not really ever worry about visiting. And blue water as far as the eye can see. We live on Lake Erie, and Lake Erie is green and brown. All the streams and ponds and lakes and rivers in my area are brown or green. No blue water here. Also, DTE uses Lake Erie to cool its nuclear towers off. The water is like toxic. There's literally a spot called the Hot Hole that's not far from where our beach is or whatever in our neighborhood. It's called the Hot Hole because the water's like 90 something degrees. It's like a hot tub in the lake. Not gonna miss that. Number 6, wacky summer festivals. Growing up in Howell, I was exposed to a bunch of random festivals. Howell's not too far from here, probably an hour, maybe 2 hours, I think. The two favorites were the Howell Melon Festival and Balloon Fest. Though at the time the city seemed so hot and overcrowded, some of my most prominent childhood memories took place around these citywide events. We don't really have any wacky summer festivals around here. We have like the Uncle Sam Jam in Woodhaven, which is literally just a little pop-up like fair. You know, it's got carnival rides for the kids and stuff like that. I don't really think that's a Michigan only thing because I see pictures of those from many different states. Number 7, the sweet Midwestern charm. One thing that makes Michigan so unique is our people. There are few places around the country where people are so generous. Not here in Monroe. And not even like really in Novi where I used to live. So I don't know what that one is. Number 8, our unique carbonated beverages. No one realizes what a necessity Verner's is until they can't find it anywhere. Not feeling well, drink a Verner's. Feeling great, drink a Verner's. Have a few extra scoops of vanilla ice cream, add Verner's. Verner's, it's like a ginger ale. I know it's made in Michigan or whatever. I don't know if Michigan and Ohio are like the only places you can get it, but I would be lying if I told you guys I drink 1 or 2 a year. It's definitely not a pop that you really crave. And that's always been like an old wives' tale, like, oh, you got a stomachache, drink a Verner's, you'll feel better. When we come visit family, I'll grab a Verner's. Luckily, if you're not a fan of the ginger pop, we can also choose from a plethora of Faygo flavors. I'm going to be the odd man out here. I cannot stand Faygo. It's a brand of pop if you guys don't have it around where you're at. It's just the brand of pop that has all different flavors. They've got, cola, root beer, red pop, rock and rye, like a lot of fruity ones. I don't like them. I personally, I hate the design of the bottles. I'm a very visual and texture type of person, and I hate the look of the bottles. I always have, even back in the 90s when, they were a little bit different. The pops themselves, I don't really find them that good. They're just extremely sweet and sugary. Number 9, Michigan-made tunes. We're lucky enough to have the ability to brag about Motown, Jack White's record plant, and a slew of other Michigan-made musicians like Eminem, Kid Rock, Bob Seger, stuff like that. See, the great thing is, all of those can be listened to anywhere in the world. Being born in the same state that they're from, kind of irrelevant to me. I don't know. Maybe I'm supposed to be proud of that or something. That's awesome, I guess. Cool. But at the same time, it doesn't really affect me at all because I'll still listen to them wherever I'm at. The majority of them moved out of Michigan very quickly, so that tells you something. Number 10, Detroit Rock City. If you're lucky enough to visit Detroit during its revival, you're lucky enough. The history behind Detroit is so fascinating that we can't help but to explore the city in awe. Through its exciting shops, delicious restaurants, and gorgeous cityscape views, we're truly lucky to witness the city in action. Detroit is very hit or miss. See, when you're in Detroit, first off, be very aware of all the cars around you, because if you're following any sort of laws on the road, you're going to have your doors blown off and be cut off left and right. If you're on the highway and you're not going 30 over the speed limit, you're going to have cars zooming past you in every direction, cutting you off. Don't use your blinkers. Don't stop at red lights. Blow through stop signs. It's insane up there. And then when you're off the highway, it's very similar. Run red lights. Don't stop at stop signs. Kind of just make your own laws on the road. And you'll be on one block at a stoplight with every house around you abandoned, boarded up. and then one more block down, you are in a beautiful area. It's insane, and I'm not making that up. We used to ride the slingshot up a lot up there, or I did, because Shelby actually worked a lot back then. Like we were on, well, I guess we still are on opposite shifts, but she's at a different job now. So I would ride with the slingshot crew up there a lot, and we stayed in like really nice areas. But also, there's been more than one time where we were up there, and it was very sketchy. Like everybody was just like, "All right, we got to get the hell out of here. Everybody go your own way and just go." Detroit for me is kind of like a no-go. I love it. Like there is some amazing restaurants up there. There is some amazing scenery, but it can get really sketchy at the same time, and it's not worth it to be robbed or anything like that. And that's not an exaggeration. Number 11. We're basically 2 states in one. We have the Upper Peninsula and the Lower Peninsula. I've been up to the UP once in my life. Number 12. The University of Michigan versus Michigan State University rivalry. This kind of brings me back to the Tigers thing. I personally cannot stand sports. There is nothing more boring in the world to me than sports. Any sports, period. Football, basketball, baseball, kickball, soccer, anything. I can't get into it. No hate to anybody who likes it, but especially football, people go insane, like mentally insane about it. It drives me nuts. And 13, being able to sing the most iconic lyrics of all time. The Journey song. I don't want to sing it because that can actually get me copyrighted, but in the Journey song where they say, "Just a small town boy." Born and raised in South Detroit. I wasn't born and raised there. Also, I can still sing that anywhere because I was still born in Michigan, 30 minutes south of Detroit. These articles always crack me up. No hate to whoever wrote it. It was just funny. I wanted to put it in a video. I was like, oh my God. I knew basically all 13 before she even read them earlier. I was like, I'm not going to miss any. Whatever they say, I'm not going to miss. And she was laughing with me because we both were like on the same exact page. But all right, guys. Drop it in the comments down below if you guys move somewhere, and you miss stuff from your hometown or your home state. See, here in Michigan, we have high crime rates here in Monroe. Car insurance is like one of the highest in the country. I pay a car payment, literally a whole car payment, just paying my car insurance. Like that's how expensive it is. Lots of drugs here. Nothing to do here. So I can't really say I miss it. Now, granted, I guarantee there's some beautiful towns in Michigan that we would probably love, but that's not going to get us away from winter here. We're trying to escape this winter because this grass now is finally growing back green. I've cut the grass twice already. It's like April 10th or something today. So it literally just started getting like warm this past week. And when I say warm, I'm talking like 50s. 50s for us is literally warm. Everybody's out shorts and t-shirt doing yard work and stuff like that. See, in Florida, 50s, you're like bundled up. You got hat and gloves on, winter boots, which is hilarious to me. But yeah, I've cut the grass twice now, and it's amazing. I love it. Our grass is growing back green. Trees are starting to bloom. Some flowers are starting to poke out here and there. So life's getting good again. But all right, guys, I will see you later.